This problem deals with moving and two different companies that offer different charges, and one sometimes needs to decide which is the best way to go. So we'll first of all need to build some systems of linear equations, but before we even do that, we'll need to define some variables. So we want to study under what mileage conditions would it make sense to choose one company over the other. Well, in terms of making sense, we want to be able to look at mileage and the total cost. So let's just call M mileage, and we'll let C equal total cost. And we want to figure out what mileage will ensure that we get the best deal, that it makes sense to go that route. So in this case, we'll look at U-Haul first. We don't really technically have constraints here except constraints on each of the two companies. So U-Haul charges $19.95 per day. So regardless of how much you travel, $19.95 is a given. But on top of that, you're going to add to that 59 cents per mile. So 0.59 times the number of miles plus $19.95 will give us the total cost. Now over here for U-Haul, they just say, you know what, we'll offer the same truck, we'll just charge you $70 per day. So they just say, hey, you know what, C equals 70. Well, now we're going to solve this system. We're going to figure out what mileage are the two prices equal, because they obviously don't always cost the same. This one will be cheaper if you go very few miles. This one might be cheaper if you go many, many miles. So I'm going to use substitution here. I don't actually need to solve either equation for anything because I already know what C is. C is 20, so I can replace C in either equation with what they're equal to. So 70 equals 0.59 M plus 19.95. So I'm going to subtract my 19.95, giving me 50.05 equals 0.59 M. And now I'll divide 50.05 by 0.59, giving me M equals 84.83. Okay, well, let's think about the graph of this. Without putting too much detail into it, here's our miles, here's our cost. So somewhere up here is $70. And now this one starts at $19.95 and goes up progressively as the miles increase. So at some point over here, and in particular we know that this is 84.83, the two costs are going to be equal. Well, which route is better after that point in time? Clearly you want to be in the lower price. So if you travel more than 84 miles, it might be cheaper to go with this new company, which we're calling U-Haul. So YOU Haul would be the best one to go with. In part B, we're asked, without offering a flat rate fee, how could U-Haul create a more competitive market from a mathematical perspective? Give a specific explanation and note that answers may vary. So this can go a couple of different ways, but one option would be either to lower their per day charge or to maybe lower their per mile charge, and that way they would be able to up this number a little bit. Unless they charged a flat fee, they could never always do better than the $70 flat fee, but they can certainly lower this. They can lower this entire graph by a certain number of dollars for the day, which will move this intersection point over here, or they can lower their per mile rate. So what'll that do? Well, that'll decrease the slope, so it'll make the line go more in this direction. So those are just a couple of opportunities.